All right, let's get into today's price action and kind of what transpired. Starting high time frame, I was bullish on the daily and the weekly as well. All right, so let's move into the 4 hour and kind of look at what I saw coming in. Okay, so with the 4 hour, I was bullish. We had higher highs and higher lows. As you can see, the market structure is bullish as for right now. So I was bullish on the 4 hour and everything above it. So here's where it starts changing a little bit. On the 1 hour, I was bullish. Well, I was bearish when we started off, but then uh, I was bullish after we inverted this 1 hour gap right here. So that's kind of what I wanted to see to confirm my bias higher. And on the lower time frames, I'll get into it uh, as like an early confirmation that this 1 hour wouldn't hold, especially that our 4 hour structure is bullish. So let's move into some of the lower time frames. So starting off, I'm gonna first actually mark out both macros. So let's see where we go. 15. So in the first macro, we open up, have a bearish 5 minute gap coming out of the 1 hour. Um, and that is a pretty bearish sign. So the 1 hour normally correlates really nicely with the 5 minute. So if you're trading a 1 hour gap, the 5 minute fair value gaps are really nice to use. So that 5 minute gap, I was putting a lot of attention on. I had a lot of attention also on the 15 minute here. So this was um, I believe bullish 15 minute. Yeah, that got inverted, and then it gets and then it respects. So I was a little bit conflicted, at least for price action, because we were just kind of going back and forth between bullish and bearish PDAs, just kind of inversing each side. So that's kind of just a signature of choppy price action. Then moving in, we had this nice push higher, right? So this is where I started scouting setup. So I had Asia highs marked out. That was my clear target for the day. And correlated with Asia highs, I wanted to see ES take out this high right here, this buy side liquidity. Um, and yeah, so let's move into the actual setup and the trade I took. So moving into the first AM macro, we see we had this nice push into that 5 minute. Um, we had our initial, hold on. So we had our initial push in, nice displacement. There wasn't a secondary sweep of liquidity, but there was that push, and I liked the displacement. And I had a clear target, so that's why I had higher conviction in the trade, regardless of the fact that we didn't come back down and sweep the internal sell side. So this was the trade I had marked out right here, and I'll get into why I kind of fumbled the bag a little bit and took this trade, which is a 1.5R. Still a solid trade, in my opinion, but not the trade I plan to trade. Not the trade I plan to trade. So let's get into that. So there's a lot of choppy price action. We had taken out this high. The highs, as far as the ones I was targeting, were still open. Okay, yeah, was still open on ES as well. So the liquidity was still intact as far as targets, and I had to take a break from the chart. So I had to go do something. So I had to step away, and I took off my limit orders as soon as I got back because I saw massive chop and the fact that we had pushed up real high up here. So and then kind of rejected hard. So that was on me, to be honest. I didn't get that entry I wanted because I took my limit order off, but then instantly, uh, as soon as I saw the respect out of that gap, I put in a market order and I got filled pretty high, a lot higher than I would have liked. But regardless, I was still able to cover the gap with my stop. It isn't perfect, but it was kind of just how it played out. So that was the winning trade. I mean, I did end up watching the second macro. I don't remember exactly what I was looking for. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so we had inverted this 15 minute. So I was looking for bearish price action. And we kind of had that. Um, Actually, no, I'm wrong. I was looking for bullish price action right here because we were still supporting that 15 minute at that time. And yes, you can see it was a much cleaner tap into that gap. We had that nice displacement. Um, it just would have been a break even trade, to be honest, but it was something I was scouting out. I did still see potential to possibly push higher as Asia highs were still intact for ES, and eventually they did get taken. So, yeah, that was kind of my breakdown and my analysis. A lot to learn actually, especially about managing my orders and not taking them off, especially when I know that the probabilities of it playing out are still fairly high considering my liquidity has not been taken or there's still some room for it to push higher. Um, Besides that, it was a great trading day and nice way to end the week. Both it's been now 2 weeks. I've taken two trades between the 2 weeks and both on Friday. So Friday's been pretty nice. Um, yeah, and it's just been a lot of sitting on my hands, a lot of patience. I mean, if you're trading, the markets are pretty hard to trade, especially if you're specialized on trading the NQ or the Nasdaq. I've been hearing a lot of talk about traders switching to gold or options again, but I'm sticking to futures, sticking to NQ, and yeah, um, it'll be a good experience to learn from choppier price action and to kind of build on that patience of waiting for prime setups to kind of just form and not hesitating when they do show up. But yeah, that's it for today.